Welcome back to Spoken Essays, guys. I am Harshal Vora, and you are learning freeCodeCamp HTML and CSS responsive web design course. And without wasting more time, let us begin with let us begin from where we left off the last time. Okay, let me share my screen with you guys. I think I'll have to do some things again. So let's see. You guys cannot see the mouse, so I'll have to go to OBS again and I'll have to reshare my screen with you guys. Just a second. I think now, yep, you guys can see the mouse, and now we can begin. We can continue from where we left off. So far we have. So what we've covered is, I'll give you guys a slight overview. So this is what we wrote so far. Out of from step 1 to 6, we in the index.html file we wrote this much. You can see this is a slash styles.css file. Why don't you tell me, guys, in the comments what that means? And moving on, doc type HTML declaration, we have with the HTML tags, the standard body, the header, body, div, the meta, link, title, etc., so on and so forth. And this is what we added, the division element, and we give it the class value ground. Because of that ground, we were able to achieve this result. How? So let me go to the CSS file. Now we are in the CSS file. So we gave a few settings to the body itself. So you can see body, we gave the body linear gradient. So yeah, of course the linear gradient is not connected to this yet. We'll probably do the subsequent steps and give the ground element the gradient it needs. Anyway, so we gave the body element, this is a type selector, and for this type selector we give it the background this. We get the margin, we remove the margin, we remove the padding, and we kept the width 100%, and the height will be 100 times the viewport height, 100 times the normal viewport height, whatever that means. And overflow is hidden. That means no content will overflow, no content will leave the viewport. Whatever is in the display, that's the only thing that will be visible. हम लोग scroll left right scroll नहीं कर पाएंगे, हम लोग horizontal या vertical scroll नहीं कर पाएंगे. Basically जो भी दिखेगा वो सब viewport के अंदर ही होगा. Make sense? So that's how we hide the overflow. अगर कोई भी text या कुछ भी चीज़ overflow हो रही है, कोई भी div या फिर कोई भी element अगर overflow हो रहा है तो वो hide हो जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं कि वो overflow हो रहा है वो दिखेगा. Now moving on, क्या करना है, तो फिर हम लोग ground element हम लोग set करेंगे. So probably we'll make some ground here and set its width to take up the full width of the viewport. Set it okay. So then if we're going to set the width and the height, so then I can copy this width and height properties and I can paste them here. But before I paste them, I'll also declare the class, which is I'll also create a class selector with the value ground and the curly brackets, and inside the curly brackets I'll paste the values. Now what does this say? Set its width to take up the full width of the viewport, so 100% of the viewport, 100% width of the viewport, and set the height to 400 pixels. So instead of this 100 VH from what we copied, we will make it 400 px. Okay, nothing is visible yet because we haven't given it a color. Because of that, it is transparent, it's invisible. And let's see, so what else are we to do? So set its width to take up the full width of the viewport. Okay, so 100 VH, do I write 100 VH? Let's see. Achha, width of the viewport, so VW must be the 100% of the viewport width. Great. So the value 100 here means 100% of the viewport width. This is different. This is not 100% of the viewport width. This is 100% of I think 100% of its width. But the height is 100% of the viewport height. That is correct. And we can go to the next step now. Now we are on step 8. Give the dot ground element a background with a linear gradient angled 90 degrees clockwise. So we will not make it minus 90, we will keep it 90 degrees. And starting at this, okay. So then I can copy this property and its value, and we can just use that here. And we will of course tweak a few settings. So instead of 45 degrees, you can already see this has appeared, but instead of 45 now it will be 90 degrees, and you can see a distinct change in the ground. And let's change the color of the ground. Okay, so RGB it will be 88, so I can just change this to 88. Almost immediately you can see the difference here. Then instead of 201, this will become 175, and instead of 236, it will instead of 255 it will be 236. You can see the change. So I think is that the ground? Let's see. Okay, what if I make this 40? So that's the ground. Apparently that is the ground, because we haven't given it the top and the bottom value, the bottom value or the top value. So I think because of that I confused it. So this is what we are editing right now, guys. So let's go. I'll scroll. I'll wrap this text a little bit. आपको अभी तुम लोग कुछ कर नहीं रहे, so I can keep it this much. Okay. And ending at 182. So 182. 255 is cool, and instead of 222 this will become 225. You can see this color is completely different than this, what we'd call the body element. So yeah, this dot ground element, or the ground with the class value ground, div with the class value ground, has this color, this shade, and you can see the shade here, the gradient here. Now we go to step 9. As the dot ground element will be third in the stacking context of the page layout, okay, we are going to use Z index. That we used Z index in the Picasso painting too. So Z hyphen index. So that's how we play with layers. This will be on top. This will be the third layer. It won't be the top. It won't be on top, but it will be the third layer. And you can see the moment I made it Z index. Interesting. But if I also made this 0, okay, so apparently this is the ground. The moment I color the change of the moment I change the color of the ground, this color changed and not this. So I'm not sure what is happening. Why would the ground be bigger than the sky? I don't know. Let's find out what and how this works. Maybe this could be a pond. I wouldn't know. Or this could be the ice of the pond. It could be a frozen lake. I wouldn't know. But moving on, this is the ground element, the div with the class value ground. I would call it ground element, and we're going to set the position to absolute. Great so far. Now we go to the step 10. We can see there is a space. They've already given us a space. What will this space do? So above the ground element, above, so space, and a div with the class of penguin. So now we're going to build a penguin. Why is it above? Because I think it is because to make it visible on top. But after we use Z index, it won't really matter. But let's see. And this will, okay, so PENGUIN, penguin, and this will be capital P. So div with the class penguin, and this will contain flappy penguin. So we're not going to mention anything, any text or any I think in there, any text probably. We might be putting a few more div classes for the hands, for the legs, for the for the head and for the torso, but let's see. Achha, oh yeah, I made a mistake. Yeah, it should be lowercase. And we can go to the next step. Target the penguin element, set its width and height to 300 pixels. So then I can copy these values. Oh, sorry. From here till here, I've copied these values, and now I will give the penguin element these properties. Width, it is not to be 100%, it is to be 300 pixels. I'll copy these, paste that. Still it's not visible because we haven't given it any color. Oh, sorry. Width and height. So actually, yeah, that is a typo. Penguin, that is not a word. Penguin. जैसे penguin डाला, इसका shape वापस change हो गया. There is something. Okay. Now use the margin property to some things. Yeah. And that the beard is, I keep scratching my beard. Nothing to worry about, guys. So use the margin property to horizontally center the penguin element and set the margin top to 75 pixels. Horizontally, so to set it horizontally, what we do is, so the first argument will be 0, that will cover the top and the bottom. So be top or bottom की value 0, तो yeah, कुछ margin नहीं उनका. And for to horizontally center it, we write auto. तो वो left और right से वो automatically center में ले लेगा. And we will also give it an additional property called margin top, क्योंकि हमने margin use करके well left और right दोनों values दे दी to make it horizontally center, but we also need to do this. So margin top 75 pixels semicolon. Nothing is still visible because we haven't given it a color, but for the sake of it, let me just show you what it will look like. So background hyphen color black, that should be visible. So that's where the penguin will be. So this helped take care of the alignment. We aligned it to the center. And what? Yeah, because of this 0, ऊपर से या नीचे से कोई spacing उसने margin नहीं set किया. It's all because of the width and the height. Yeah, width and the height तो yeah ठीक है, वो तो कुछ और है. That's how you transform the image, the div. But then margin top 75 pixels दिया. So तो ऊपर से नीचे, so ऊपर से उसने this distance is 75 pixels basically. If I remove it, you will see it. Oh my god. You will see that it's on top. The moment I give it the value margin top 75 pixels, it moves down 75 pixels. We can go to the next step now. I think this project has about 100 steps, but nothing to worry about, guys. We will be done in maybe an hour or so. Okay, so where were we? Now we were on step 13. Step 13 में क्या करना है तो फिर देखते हैं. To create some scenery in the background, you will add 2 mountains. Now we're going to work on the mountains. We've already given the penguin the values. Penguin में कुछ color वाला डालना नहीं था, वो तो सिर्फ आप लोगों को दिखाने के लिए डाला था. So that's why in the preview you can't see it. Now to create some scenery in the background, you will add 2 mountains above the penguin element and a div class. क्यों above? Again because it will be behind the penguin. Now of course we can use z-index to put them behind, but I think we're not going to do that based on the steps. Nope, sorry. So I'll copy this, paste, add a div with the class. You will add 2 mountains. Now the first step says 2 mountains, but above the penguin element add a div with the class of left mountain. So we're going to first build the left mountain. So be it. So mountain, left mountain, and we have the green light. Now we go to step 14. Target the left mountain element gladly. Left mountain, in the curly brackets we will set the width and the height, then the background to linear gradient. You know what, where can I find that combo? Width, height and the background. Great, let's copy this combo. We'll probably add these later. So width and the height both will be 300 pixels. You can see that emerging, and instead of the linear gradient colors, तो उसने बोला कुछ starting में उसने कुछ degrees mention नहीं किए हैं, so I'm going to remove that. Now this will become 203, 204, 228. This will become 80, so, and then this will be 183 and 245. So that's the mountain. Wow, we edited the left mountain, but it seems, what happened to the ground? Why is the ground not visible? I wouldn't know. Let's find out. Maybe we will find out in the subsequent steps. We still have, अच्छा ये 204 की जगह 241 आना चाहिए. What happened there? Okay. Submit and go to the next page. Okay, yeah, that's what it looked like. Okay, we can go to the next step now. Step 50. So to prevent the mountain from pushing the dot ground element. Yes, it is pushing the dot ground element. अच्छा तो उसने push कर दिया. So because it pushed the because we added the overflow. Yeah, it makes sense. So what happened is, because we've added overflow, so any element that pushes another element, that entire element will become hidden. It won't be visible. But if I make these things with less, that thing might appear again. So what if I make this 0.1? Nope. What if I remove the width? Then this ground will appear. But before it won't, because this thing, what we call the left mountain, is taking up space. Okay. So to prevent the border from, adjust the position to prevent it from taking up space in the page layout. So position, I think it should be absolute. The moment we make it absolute, the picture changes. You can see that this is the mountain, this is the ground. I don't believe that this is the ground. I think this should be the ground, but I don't know. We will find out. One way to quickly find out is if I change the body to this number to 2, and you can see that this is the body, that is what I would call the sky. Maybe the sky, I don't know whether it is the sky. This is the ground. Now it is clear that this is the ground, this is the, well, this is the left mountain, and this is the sky, or what we'd call body. Okay, back to this. So what does this say? Prevent it from taking space in the page layout. We have ensured that. Step 16, scroll up a little bit. Great. To make the mountain look more like a mountain, you can use the skew transform function. Interesting. Which takes 2 arguments. So skew is a function, it's not a property, nor is it a value, neither nor. And so what will we do? Skew, which is the first being an angle to shear, the x-axis by shear is to cut. I will also confirm the meaning by looking it up. It says shear shorn, so past participle or shorn, cut the wool off, wool. And it says cut off, the second meaning as cut off something such as hair, wool or grass with scissors or shears. You know what, let us look at a picture of what a shear looks like. So shear looks, oh my god, shear is more rare. So but yeah, shearing the sheep, shear, that is also a part of clothing. We are not looking for the part of clothing. Shear tool, that is something we're looking for. So that's what we call a shear tool. So we're literally going to cut it off. Skew the mountain, being an angle to shear the y-axis by. Okay, I can see we have a space for us here. I'll use the transform property, and I will go give it a skew. I'll put the skew function, not transform, it is transform. Now in the skew function, so first must be for the x-axis and the second must be for the y-axis. So 0 degrees, so no cutting for the x-axis, but 44 degrees cutting for the y-axis, DEG. The moment I do that, you can see something like this has happened. What is going on? Let me change the colors pretty quickly. Nope, that did not help. इसको हटा देते हैं. हाँ. And what I'll do is I'll also change this color to 0. That should give us. So that is the left mountain now. That does not look like a mountain, but I think when we put another mountain on top of it, as in on top of it, not on top of it, but above it, in front of it, I would say in front of it, then this would maybe look more like a mountain. So let's see. Use the transform properties, skew the mountain by 0 degrees in the x-axis and 44 degrees in the y-axis. The first being an angle which here, ये बराबर है, syntax बराबर है. Okay, and transform भी कर दिया, skew भी कर दिया, 44 degrees भी कर दिया है, and this is what it looks like. Now it will allow me to go past this test. Why? Because checking the colors is not a part of this step. So I can go to the next step. But this is what the left mountain looks like now after we added the transform property with the function skew. And it is back to its normal self again. Now set the stack level. Stack level इसके लिए हम use करते हैं z index. हाँ भाई, z index, अरे बाप रे, sorry, z hyphen index semicolon, हाँ, such that it remains directly behind the ground element. Behind the ground element. अब एक ground element देखते हैं, ground element का z index position क्या है. So it is 3 ground element, so what I'll use is 2. So it remains directly behind the ground element. Just a second, I think I need to charge my Mac. Don't go anywhere guys, I'll quickly plug in the charger. It won't take you a minute. Great, that was the sound of the adapter being plugged in. Okay, not plugged in, anyway, plugged in the wall. Mounting. I think that's it. We have set the layers and we are good to go. Any value that is less than 3 would have worked, I believe, which would ensure that it remains in the background. To overlap the mountain and ground elements, give the mountain a margin top of this, ground element a margin top of this. Okay, so अभी तो हम लोग left mountain कर रहे हैं. Margin top 100 pixels ऊपर से, and for this, हाँ तो mountain जैसे लगेगा. Let's find out what this will do. So is there a margin I can copy? Nope. But there is some space here. Can you guys see that? Yes. So margin hyphen top, and it will be, this one's value will be 100 pixels. Oh, that is slow feedback. Interesting. I'm writing it, but the feedback is slow. I don't know what is happening. Maybe something's wrong with the internet. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I've put it on charger, so maybe that did something. Anyway, now we go to 58. So इसका तो 100% लेफ्ट माउंटेन का मार्जिन हमने 100 पिक्सेल्स कर दिया. अभी हम लोग ग्राउंड का मार्जिन टॉप करेंगे. So copy. Then we scroll down, we go to this ground, and you can see they've already given us a space. Notice how there isn't a space here or a line break here, or a line, there was a line break, but there isn't a line break here. That also helps us understand that this is probably where we're supposed to paste it, or इसको 100 की जगह कर देंगे -58. Oh my god, and it moved, not 580, -58. And you can see, oh wow, yes, so because of that positioning this does look like a white mountain now, small mountain now. Yep. And something's right. Okay, okay, now we can go to the next step to give the effect of a mountain range at another mountain. We give the effect of a mountain range at another mountain. So yeah, मतलब अभी दूसरा mountain डालेंगे, but yeah, to give it an effect, to make it look like a mountain range. Oh, I see there is something wrong with my YouTube live. YouTube is not receiving enough video. I think it is because of the charger that I have plugged in. Maybe now it is going berserk. Guys, if my voice is shaky, please let me know in the comments. If it is not, then please continue watching. Because it's charging, it will maybe make the computer a little bit slow, but nothing to worry about. Slow as in because we're using two different PCs and it's charging. Yeah, it will use more of its processing power. Anyway, so now that this is a div class, so instead of left mountain, now I will write back mountain. So now we have given another class, we've added another div with the class. So what does this say? Okay, immediately after left mountain and give the new div a class of back mountain. We are good to go. And we have the green light too. Great work, guys. Let me lower the brightness of this screen. Maybe this is what will work. And why don't you guys give me just a second? I can see some error in my YouTube live stream. Give me a second, please, so I can check out what it is. Hello guys, I think my YouTube stream is stuck. I will try to connect to it again and I will show you guys. I'll resume from where I left off from step 20 again. Just give me a second. Maybe if I restart the stream, this will help, or if not, I will see you guys back live at 2.